the Brian McKnight situation gets much worse.
Even reviewing all the material I reviewed for this video made me physically sick and very uncomfortable. Brian McKnight's older son, Brian McKnight Jr., and his ex-wife sat down with his nemesis, Mark Lamont Hill, after Mark Lamont Hill threatened to expose Brian McKnight when he responded back to Brian McKnight doing an interview with Anton Daniels, where Brian McKnight called out Mark Lamont Hill for not really understanding the facts of his family dynamics, but yet disparaging him and calling him an a-hole on the Joe Budden podcast.
That's because Brian McKnight did that whole interview with Anton Daniels, and he basically said that he ain't leave them kids. Them kids was grown, and they were not fulfilling their responsibilities.
Facts.
And he gave them several chances, and they never got on their feet. And for that reason,
he severed ties.
He severed ties, and he felt like that for that reason he should also not be, be blamed. He's not to blame for what happened for him starting a whole nother family and having another junior and naming that junior and changing his name to the proper name to match the other one.
And now he
did.
He did, but he's also telling his side of the story. We didn't get his side of the story, so he came with his version of it on the Anton Daniels show.
Right, and now this is the rebuttal.
Mark Lamont Hill responded back very angrily, letting Brian McKnight know that he's going to reveal information.
Oh, yeah, he also called Mark Lamont Hill a bitch, and he said when he see him, he gonna punch him in his mouth and invite him up to the Joe Budden podcast.
Brian McKnight did not say that, man. Allegedly,
he called him something.
Information that his family told him personally that he doesn't want out. Mark Lamont Hill made good on that threat by bringing on Brian McKnight Jr. and his ex-wife to speak on Brian McKnight. Now, they went back and forth, ironed out certain details. Much of it I don't care for, but the one thing that really tugged at my heart was a situation involving Brian McKnight's youngest son, Nico, and his cancer diagnosis. Wow. Nico McKnight was diagnosed with colon cancer 2 years ago. He recently passed away from it about a month and a half ago. Now, sad enough, Nico and Brian never fixed their issues. So Brian...
Is it happening now?
No, they said 2 years ago he's gone.
I'm just saying in this video.
Yeah, I guess in the video he's
in
sick.
The hospital?
No, it's not a hospital like he at the house.
Oh, okay.
Now, sad enough, Nico and Brian never fixed their issues. So Brian McKnight's son passed away with them not being on speaking terms. If that's where this ends, that would be bad enough, but it gets worse. You see, the ex-wife and his junior would accuse Brian McKnight of conducting himself and doing certain things in the time leading up to Nico's death that makes Brian McKnight nothing short of evil if this is true.
I want to first just acknowledge the weight of the loss of Nico. For all of you, not just you two, but Brian as well. I can't imagine what it's like to lose a child. I've lost siblings, but never a child. I can't even imagine the pain of what you all have been going through as a family.
Yeah, and I think that alone made the other interview a little bit weird. It's like, you telling your side of the story and what they did wrong and so on and so forth. I don't know if I would have been able to speak so callously of a child that I lost.
No doubt.
You know what I'm saying?
No, yeah, that's kind of rough. Yeah.
When I heard Brian Sr. talk about the timeline, there were some things that I thought were worth at least discussing.
Absolutely.
Yeah. First thing is he got the information late.
It's not true.
You tell me your version of what happened, or you. I know this is painful, and so I don't want to.
I love you, Johnny boy. Number one. This is the thing, man. And again, this is the last time I'm speaking about this, about any of this with anybody. My dad knew from the jump. I got the DMs. You feel me?
When you say the jump, he found out as soon as y'all found out.
I found out, he knew.
Okay.
I begged my dad to talk to my brother for 2 years. He got diagnosed 2 years ago. You feel me? The lies, man.
That's a direct rebuttal to the claim that Brian McKnight made during his interview. So Brian McKnight would claim that the family found out about the cancer diagnosis, and they didn't tell him until 4 months went by. they caught it early. And if they would have told him at the time that he was diagnosed, he would have been able to step in to help. Now, Brian McKnight don't necessarily address like the speaking terms or him wanting to really build or connect with his child. He really just addressed the fact that he was willing to step in and utilize his money to pay for cancer treatment. But as the family would claim that that's a lie, they will say that they have receipts, they have messages, they have text messages, they have Instagram DMs letting Brian McKnight know the day they found out that Niko had cancer.
You know, this is a cycle that continues to happen, and I can't speak for everybody else's situation. The saddest part of this is that the younger one ended up dying.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that.
He said the younger one.
You know what I'm saying?
The
Like,
younger one ended up perishing.
yeah. Yeah, you see what I mean by how callous it was like,
Well, I mean, they over there. Evidently, he has truly severed ties with them. He moved on. He started a new family.
The younger one ended up dying.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. How do you feel about that? Because a lot of people make a big deal about, if we just being transparent about, posts
Right.
that you may make on the anniversary of the passing.
Yeah. God's timing. That was the day that the judge told us what the amount was.
Oh, okay.
the amount. What amount?
What amount?
So it didn't have anything to do with.
Had nothing to do with that. But I will say this. I believe it's God's timing because Anton, he did not have to die.
Why do you say that?
When we talked, and we did talk to him, we talked to his wife. We got to go back. So earlier that year, that May, he's on the Shade Room. He's saying things like, oh, now remember, they've lied on me,
Yeah.
but they continue to double down and triple down on the rhetoric. If my dad needed this, I wouldn't do this for him. He's dead to me, blah, blah, blah. Now we come to find out that 3 days after that's when he got diagnosed.
So what you saying? You was like, oh no, you dead to me. Is that what you trying to say?
So I'm
not
We're
saying-
not
I mean, is that what-
insinuating anything.
That's how he said it.
Kinda.
Like,
So you're saying that about me, but then
Now
a couple of days later,
that's a crazy thing to insinuate.
now
Even that's a crazy parallel to even draw. Like, what are you saying? Like, oh,
I also heard the flip side of this is Brian McKnight just recently, when I say recently, I mean as in recent weeks, he just won like a $8-point-something million lawsuit against his children and his ex-wife for slander. So
is that what he's talking about?
that could be the dollar amount that they
probably
talking
got no
about.
money though.
Who knows?
That's when he got diagnosed. They waited because he didn't have insurance. They waited 4 months to let us know.
After they found out that
After
he
they
was
found
actually.
out, they waited 4 months.
I don't know the intent, but what was very disturbing about that clip and it gave me chills was when Brian McKnight says he went online and says, my father is dead to me. If he needed this, I wouldn't do it for him. He's dead to me. But then 3 days later, he got diagnosed with cancer.
Right, so now
What are you saying? Like, that was karma for him?
Right.
Yeah,
that's the same thing I'm
that's
saying.
kind of
Yeah.
vindictive. That is kind
That's a
of
cold-blooded thing to say.
yeah, kind of about your
Right.
about
I'm
your
sorry,
son.
I wasn't as eloquent as Flacco was.
Yes, Flacco. Shout out to Flacco.
Right.
Saying bad things about you, you pointing that out to me is just petty. It's petty. But the most disturbing part about this is Brian McKnight would then accuse the Brian McKnight Jr. and the mom of wanting Niko to die. He would say that the family wanted Niko to die because Niko would be a martyr and it would make people turn against Brian McKnight even more.
Damn.
To me, that's just sick, bro. Like that's just absurdity from my perspective, bro. Even if you,
So he's suggesting that they didn't contact him for 4 months because they was like, okay, if he fall off the cliff or whatever, then
Right. Then we can
look.
and say, look, see how bad a person he is. Like he said, make him a martyr. Make the son that passed away a martyr.
again, there's no way for us to confirm who's telling the truth here. But even if we say, they didn't notify you, they did some things wrong. To say they wanted their brother to die so they could turn the public against you is crazy.
So he could have,
According to all statistics, 91% of colon cancer diagnosis that are caught early are curable.
right.
I've heard that. We've heard that.
From the time he got diagnosed to the time we found out, because they didn't tell us. I had to find out from somebody else.
Right.
Then I heard from them.
So were you the last?
We were the last to find out.
Wow.
So once we found out, we sprung into action. What can we do? Can we get the scans? Can we do this? Can we do that? Anton, by this time,
Notice he always say we. He's referring to him and his wife, his new wife, or is he referring to him and his team?
He could mean him and his team. You think he mean him
and his new wife, him and his new people,
and Junior.
Yeah,
it was stage 4.
That's crazy.
Stage 4. So you've lied on me.
Right.
You don't come to me. In my opinion, they martyred him so that they could keep this going.
That's deep. That's really deep.
That's what I truly believe.
Yeah.
Let's go back to the family interview. Now, the family will step in. The family will say, listen, all the younger son wanted, all Nico really wanted was to speak to his father. Now, Brian McKnight spoke at length during the Anton Daniels interview about how he offered this resource and that resource. He offered this payment and that payment. And Nico and the family, they turned it down because, they wanted him to die. The family will say, all Nico really wanted, he ain't want his money. He didn't want none of that. He just wanted his father and him to be on speaking terms. And he just wanted his father to tell him he loved him. But Brian McKnight couldn't even do that.
The unnecessary lies. Even if let's go about it a different way. Even if that's true, even if you got the information late, even if everything he said about us was true, you have the power, right, to step in, take control.
He said he tried, and that his wife intervened as well and said, "Hey, you can not even say it's from us. Like, we just want to help."
Why would I beg my dad to help? Not even to help. I didn't beg my dad to help. I begged him to talk to my brother. Why would I do that if we weren't willing to make that connection, if we weren't willing to allow that to be the case, if it wasn't up until it was absolutely apparent that the type of help that would have come, like my mom said, would have come with certain stipulations. He would have had to do this. He would have had to do that.
No, is that...
What's wrong with that? You going life or death. Listen, I know somebody lying. I don't know who
somebody lying. There's their side, there's Brian McKnight's side, and then there's the truth.
Right. And Brian McKnight real mean, so it's hard to tell.
I mean,
he did been able to be involved. You know what I mean? The attempt to turn my brother against us in his last days is the most outrageous thing, and that's where you asked me earlier when I didn't finish. That's where it ended for me with my dad.
Absolutely.
I will leave with you the messages that we sent. Leilani sent a message that said
they got message?
To his wife, you don't even have to tell him that it's us. We just want to help whatever we can do. And then they're like, well, he would have had to stay at your house and they wouldn't have been able to see him. I'm like, we never made that a stipulation. The facility that we found, that the only one that would allow him to come was closer to our house.
Right.
That's why we have an entire apartment downstairs with its own entrance. His wife wouldn't have to work. You can take care of him all day. Leilani wanted to take care of him. And his mother sent that message after we sent the message to him.
Son, we've seen families destroyed. We've seen what's the word? The divide in the family structure. When we talk about a woman scorn,
yeah.
When we talk about, so hold on, everybody's talking about Brian McKnight, the bad guy, and all that.
So he's saying his ex-wife,
ex-wife
want him down around
is putting the stipulations and all that, and he trying to turn the kids against each other.
It's possible. It's 2 sides.
That's
sides.
insane.
But it's like, he had ample opportunity to show up and be my brother's dad. Forget your help. He did 5 shows in California when my brother laid in the hospital.
Yes.
That's true. You supposed to show up. If you knew before he passed and you didn't show up, that sucks. That sucks. I don't care what nobody say. I don't care what happened. He about to go. He about to check out. Let's say you did find out when it was too late, but you never came through.
So we got family members like that. we got family members like that. Come on, man.
We have to do with you coming and paying respects to your son on his deathbed.
When you asked him, did you ask him to do it?
I get no responses.
Okay.
I'm texting and DMing to deaf ears, as far as we know. But there was never a time through any of this until all of this started happening. And even still, all I asked him to do was talk to my brother.
Right.
Talk to him. He's begging for you, dog. He's begging for you to talk to him. I'm gonna take this one so my mom doesn't have to, because we discussed this whole
See what the
thing.
mother look like.
As far as
Why they ain't showing her? They showing the son doing live speaking, but she just in the back. I want to see her.
What?
Dude.
Whatever she is, she probably used to be fine.
It's not. I'm not saying she fine or not. I just want to
You
see.
just want to see her eyes. You want to look and see if it's how vindictive and cold.
even that, him airing out my mother's voicemail
Puppet
and all
master.
of that in the midst of all this too, without any context of how we got there. It's just like, come on, bruv. One of the darkest and coldest and most disheartening memories of my life is the day my brother calls me sobbing with all that he's going through, looking death in the eye, to tell me I'm right about telling him not to call my father. Because I knew what was going to happen. Because I knew where my dad was. I told him, man, the dad is gone. Dad's gone. All my brother wanted and needed, asked for, was my father to tell him that he loves him. And my brother responds to him, or my father responds to my brother that I can't arbitrarily say that I love you.
Right.
But
God damn. That's cold blooded, Jack.
Cold blood. He been singing love songs all these years. He can't say I love you to your son.
To your son.
Jesus Christ.
Jesus be Jesus.
this is the man that wanted to help him. This is the man that was so willing to be there, that was so willing to help my brother stay alive.
I'm sorry. I have to ask that again because that
No,
Right.
you heard it right. I can't arbitrarily tell you I love you.
Like, I don't love you. Like, love you.
Yeah,
love you?
like, we was cool at one point.
Like, but
But
to
now
say I love you. That's kind of a lot.
right. You got a lot going on, and I'm
You
busy.
good? You good? Right?
You tough, right?
You not. Well,
son,
you
that's
not.
son.
That's
You
the thing.
turning. This is not funny.
My
man.
brother's dying of cancer. This was the first time he was terminal.
First time.
I heard that statement made in passing at some point. You know, I think I heard it fleetingly, probably scrolling through Instagram at some point.
Yeah, I think I did
But to
too.
hear the full story, man, listen, man.
Something about I can't just say I love you. I remember. I think I saw that. That was like when this first jumped off, when it first came out, when Brian McKnight Jr. was born or whatever. They was talking about this pretty heavy, and I remember seeing that on thumbnails and stuff. Like, I can't arbitrarily say I love you. Like, I remember that. as
You
a title.
Brian McKnight saying that, or the son right here saying that?
Involved with this situation. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Brian McKnight did the interview, and during the interview, he talked about how, you know, the kids were spoiled, they made certain mistakes, they didn't want to get their stuff together, they were leeching off of him. All of that, I hear you. I hear you 100%. But we don't care about none of that, bro.
Right, he's checking out.
We don't care about none of that, bro.
Still your baby.
If I have to look you in your eyes and your soul and determine whether or not you're a good person, how you treated your son on his deathbed, to me, is the most important indicator. I don't think neither side denied the fact that Brian McKnight offered some help, right? The son says the help came with some type of stipulations. Brian McKnight is saying the help did not come with stipulations. So Brian McKnight offered help. Cool.
So somebody lying.
Right, but
If he offered help,
not-
that means he
him
had to
never
touch
coming
bases
through.
with somebody.
whether he helped or not, him not coming through. That's what, and not being like, I love you, son. You know, I'm sorry this happened to you. Lie. Even if you don't love him like that. God damn.
Yo, check this out, man.
If some random person was like, "Yo, could you just tell me I love you?"
Let's say, and I'm playing devil's advocate here. Let's say that these boys, these two young men, their mother are intricately involved in their lives. They're very much involved in their lives, right? So that means their mother's around.
Sure.
Right? When Brian McKnight. We've seen, and I'm just using an example, I could be off the beaten path. I could be wrong. I've seen Deion Sanders run out on the field with his son, see his ex, and run the opposite way. He run away from his ex. So I'm not saying it's right or wrong. Evidently, he did try to contact somebody. That's some type of contact via text, phone call, whatever. This could be fabricated. Brian McKnight may be telling the truth. They may be telling the truth. But I mean, the worst part is his son ain't make it.
Yeah, I just think not showing up. There's no way around that. It's no way around.
It shouldn't be no way around it.
It's no way around that. You're Brian McKnight. You could have hired somebody to go in there and check and see if it's that lady around. Tell me when she leave. Pay somebody to sit up there and make sure if it's that serious.
That's true, son.
Listen, I need you to do something for me. Sit here. You see this lady, her car? When you see her pull off, let me know. I'm going to run right over there and see. If you just can't, if you feel like you're going to choke us, who knows what.
Son, that sound good. From your mouth to God's ears. I mean, I don't know. We don't know.
Y'all let me know what you think.
Let us know in the comments, man.
Is Brian McKnight the devil? Because if this is all, if what the son says is true, he the devil.
Or has he been vindicated with the Anton Daniels interview?
I don't know. Let me know in the comments. We out.
Peace.